Hello guys and welcome to the 7th aspect. My name is Siggi and I'm joined by Gary.
Thanks for joining us. It's great to have you back, ready for another episode of the Showcase Showdown.
Yep, this is the last top 8 match. It's Palpatine versus Iden Versio. We are, like we've been doing in the top 8, using established new lists. Do you want to tell us a bit about them?
Sure, absolutely. We've got this control matchup. Definitely the decks run differently, but both have big elements of control. This Iden Versio deck we've seen already in the competition by Source performs very well. Double blue. And Palpatine Blue by Nick Narcus. Another list that came out of the Kissimmee 5K tournament recently. Super strong and lots of fun.
Let's play Unlimited.
Welcome to the gaming table. Here goes the chance cube. It's red.
It's always red when I throw it, always blue when you throw it.
I
People...
wish we were doing it on purpose, Sig, but just for anyone who's wondering, we're really not.
Yep. Resourcing and mulligans, were you okay with yours? I resourced two big things and then lead us off with a probe droid.
I think mine was kind of fine. So I was happy enough with a probe droid. That's a great turn one play for me. Power of the Dark Side is cool in a lot of instances, but I guess Iden's not going to play that many units, so I'm not going to get the most out of it. But I'm happy with a Vigilance because I want to play that as soon as I can, really.
Yes, and it's worth to note that as soon as you can is on turn 5, while I can play
Yes.
mine on turn 3.
Exactly, yeah. Which will be a bit of a race, I think. But we both start with probe droids, so we know what each other has. And you managed to Death Trooper my probe droid, which is a really nice play. One of the downsides of having units that only have 2 health.
Yep, Death Trooper is pretty good in this instance.
So blue versus blue. In this matchup generally, without like tons of knowledge about the deck lists, how do you feel about Iden versus Palp? Do you think one of them is particularly stronger in this matchup?
I believe this Iden deck has main deck answers in the deck answers for the mirror, while Pulp doesn't. So I think Iden will be slight favorite in this match.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I also think I think I agree with what you said before about the double blue aspect for Iden. So she can play Vigilance much earlier than Palpatine can, and I think that's probably a big deal. Like it's such an important card for these decks.
Yeah, and here we start the mill train.
Yeah. So I lose 6 cards, including 2 Charlesons, which is a bit of a shame. Well played.
Yeah, but from your end, what you really don't want to be losing are vigilances yourself. And there I redraw my restock, which is vital in this game and one of the mirror cards that this item deck plays in the main deck.
Really nice. And actually here, I pulled a resupply and I've got regional governor. So I play a regional governor and I say Childson, maybe because it's fresh in my mind because I just saw mine, but I'm also expecting there to be quite a lot in your deck, and we're on 5 resources now. I also drew a resupply, so I'm going to try and catch up a little bit towards those resources to be able to play my vigilance.
Yeah, I don't think Chelsea is a bad call. I run 3 in this item deck.
But the regional governor doesn't last very long because she's I am your fathered.
Yeah,
and I definitely don't want to give you 3 more cards. So
yeah, I think that's the correct play. I was happy either way. In hindsight, I don't think you said Childson this time. I think you said Vigilance. That's why I wanted to get rid of it.
Wondering if, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe. I know. Maybe I play another regional governor. Then I'm sure I said that at one point. I thought it was here.
Yeah, it could be.
But here comes Iden.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Iden out with a shield because die immediately. I can put a bit of pressure on your deck before you I start getting damage in with milling if it goes that far. And
Yeah,
if
true.
if she baits out Palpatine, then I'm just happy to super laser both of them off the board.
Yeah, and just carry on. I think the fact that you can play Vigilance for 4 is huge. Not only does it mean you can play it earlier, but like as we see here, it means you can play it and still have resources left over.
Yeah, I've played. This is the second one. I start off with killing your Inferno 4. You put one card on bottom and one card on top, and then I mill five cards plus the one that you put on the top.
So I fell straight into your trap here, Siggy. As you can see, I put Takedown on the top with the intention of playing that on Iden. But I completely fell into your trap of the second half of Vigilance is going to mill me. I don't know what I was thinking. Well played.
Yeah, the other option was just to put all of them on the bottom.
Yeah, so I'm not really going to see it either way. And I don't think I have restock in this deck, which you do, which here it comes to bring a Vigilance back.
Yeah,
I mean,
I bring back 2 Vigilances at Death Trooper just because, and I restock.
so you're set up for the long game already. I feel like this is kind of it's in your favor. I mean, I don't think it's over by any means, but I feel like it's definitely leaning towards Iden at the moment, which is a shame. I pull my own Super Laser Blast, but it's unlikely to be particularly important for me as you're not really running many units. But you've done a fair chunk of milling already.
Yeah, I think we're at a point where Palpatine will never win the milk game. So for you have to beat me on the ground or in the space arena.
Exactly, yeah. But with Iden healing all the time, that's going to be tricky. And in the damage race, I'm losing already anyway. So the winner of this matchup, Sig, will go on to play somebody in the semi-finals. Do we want to spoil that at this point of the video, or are we saving it for later on?
Well, if people have been following the series, there is no spoiler because we have already published that episode. That will be
Yeah, great.
Sabine, which will go into Iden in the top 4 in a match, best of 3 match with sideboard. So
I think it's going to be really different for a number of reasons. That match, not only will it be a best of 3, so we have, like you say, the whole element of sideboarding to consider, but it will be aggro versus control, whichever one of these decks goes through, which I think is going to be really interesting. The semi-finals are shaping up to be pretty cool, I think.
yeah, so I spent this whole turn on playing single vigilance, getting it first with Search Your Feeling, which also allows me to shuffle my deck, so the vigilances that are at the bottom of the deck are now somewhere else in the deck.
And another big mill of 6.
Yep.
I just moved the Avenger out of the way there so we could see what was being discarded, but
Yeah.
it hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Yep. And I thought about super lasering you here, but I decided I'm still at 0 health, so 30 health on my base. I'm not in a big hurry. I really want to bait pulp out before I super laser, and I have enough resources to do search your feelings, find a vigilance, play vigilance, and then next turn I would have 10 resources, which is super place blast into entranced if your pulp comes out now. It's not that, at that
Very
time.
nice. Yeah, great setup.
Yeah.
And I decided to attack with the Avenger, even though you've got no units on board, just to try and start getting some damage on.
Yeah,
And another unit.
I have passed here, I believe. So you're playing multiple
Yeah, I
list.
play my own vigilance, and do some milling to you and a bit of healing from me.
Yeah.
Um,
You
it's just a
see,
lot more expensive for me to play it than it is for you.
yeah. You get one of my Vigilances and one of my Spark of Rebellions, which is yet another control mirror card that Iden runs in the main deck. But importantly, you don't get the restock. So that's a huge win for me. It solidifies that it would be hard for you to win the mill game, if not impossible.
And I think it's difficult because I know you've got Super Laser Blast, but I don't feel like I've really got an option to not play my units. Like I had to play them because if I don't try and do damage, it's just game over, right? So even though I know at some point I'm going to be Super Laser Blast, if I don't play my units to try and do damage, I'm just going to be milled and the game will end that way. So I have to try my best.
Yeah.
But then Palp comes out, he's entrenched, so he can't attack the base.
Yep.
And I play a regional governor. I wonder if this was the one that I had said vigilance.
This is
On.
the one where you said Challenger, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it was the other way around.
Fine, fine. And that's why you resource Child Center.
Yeah. And no, I think we've got it the other way around.
Yeah, I think I
you said
said
with
vigilance at the
this time,
start.
yeah, and I decided that I could probably remove with my Avenger. It's then immediately destroyed.
It's just a nice play. Yeah. So again, I try and play some more units to try and put some damage onto base. I think something I might consider for the next matchup. I feel like maybe we'll try and put some info about number of cards left in deck, because we can't see it just now. But I think I'm already starting to run pretty low. I maybe only have 5 or 6 cards left in deck at this point.
I think you have exactly 6, and I think these are the last 6 cards in your deck, if I remember correctly.
And at this point, Sig, when you played this Vigilance, I remember thinking, like, where is this guy still getting Vigilances from? I think you had them up your sleeve.
Yeah. We use the same cheat trick when we roll the chance cube.
Yeah, I believe it. They just kept coming. There was so many of them.
Yeah, and I'm just finalizing taking out what needs to be taken out on your end, so you can't kill me.
Yeah.
I have already entranced a second Super Laser Blast.
And I played a Vader there. Not only did he not have anything to ambush into, but I had no cards in deck for him to search, so it's
Yeah.
pretty upsetting. And then everybody dies anyway.
Yeah.
With 0 cards in deck, nothing on board, and just a Viper probe, I'm pretty much convinced this game over now.
Yes, we can also see on your base damage that you are up from 6 to 12 because the milling damage is taking effect. For those that don't know, each time a player is supposed to draw a card and can't, they take 3 damage. So it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. And I think while we were playing Sig, we had both come to the conclusion that Iden was likely to win a lot earlier than turn 10 or whatever it was here, but we wanted to play it out and see how it would go. But yeah, Palpatine's been thoroughly milled here, and he's not very happy.
Yeah, and tranced on your last unit, and there's no reason to drag this out. So Gary goes to 18 here, and we just decide that he will show his hand. If it doesn't have a unit in it, then he will eventually die to the mill. So that's Iden into the top 8, where he will face Sabine, like we talked about before.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously, the other side of the bracket is Boba versus Grand Inquisitor. So lots of fun to be had in some best of 3 matchups.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to it. You can expect slightly longer videos because we are going into two or possibly 3 games.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on the 7th aspect.